Salad or Dolly, threw a great party. We all drank Bacardi, it got kinda gnarly. We're light as a feather, we're tougher than leather. Together we're weirder together.
Welcome to Weirder Together. I'm Ben Lee.
Ione Sky.
And what a day.
Yeah.
What a town. Oh, my phone's dinging. Char Grilled Charlie's, just letting you guys all know you can be a weekday hero for only $29.90. So that's why you tune in. We're bringing you all the best bargains and all the best news.
Yeah, minute by minute, all those text notices. What's a hero of Char Grilled Charlie's?
Well, I mean, look, hero, it's subjective. It's a subjective term. I imagine, though, that you get treated quite well. You go in there. There's no actual bargains with the food, but you just get looked at with a certain type of admiration.
You can jump the ticket line.
Yeah, you're just an aspirational character in Char Grilled Charlie's lore.
Oh, my God.
You know? Does that sound good?
I don't know why I'm going to segue into this, but something about being a character and something reminded me of, we had a really fun night. We went to China Heights, where you can buy a beautiful sculpture and painting.
You don't have to buy. You can just look. It's an art
You have to buy.
That would be a crazy concept for a high-end art show.
You have to.
Terrifying.
Oh, my God.
Kitty Callahan, Midori Goto joint show.
Yes.
That is up for
and it
another
was
week or
fab.
so.
So yeah, it's very elegant works of art. Really, really, really good stuff. Anyway, that place picks really good people as artists.
Totally, yeah.
So after we went to Hollywood Hotel,
yes, that's
which
true.
is such a fun pub people love, and I ordered a drink that it's sort of reminding me of the hero for some reason. I don't know. I ordered a drink, though. It's not like the hero in the TV show. It's like the extra. I ordered accidentally a
French martini.
A French martini, but it looked like a drink that they give extras in the background of a TV show. Like a really bad drink in a big martini glass. And it was like a little bit embarrassing looking. So that's my story.
You felt humiliated? No one was looking.
No, I know, like how judgmental. People are not judging my choice of drink. But it was cracking me up. It was reminding me of like a prop drink. I was drinking a prop drink. But that night was fun. And then later we went to, at a small party that we were just talking about. It reminded us of, I don't know what old Sydney is, but it reminded me of old New York, like a fun loft party.
Yeah.
So we had a really good weekend there. And
really good
that's
times.
what's happening in Sydney.
Now we have a guest in the studio with us today, Meg Washington, who we first stood on a stage together to perform for the Dalai Lama. How many years ago was that?
Was it 2007?
Wow, 2007. So that's like 18 years ago. Crazy. And you'd started your solo thing at that point, or not? Almost.
I had a few songs, but they were like still kind of a secret.
Yeah.
But I was just mostly gigging in other people's bands and trying to figure out how you do it.
I remember Ohad, who introduced us, was trying to convince you to play under the name Megan Girl. He had that written on a tape or CD or something. He was like, I think she should call herself Megan Girl. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
I have absolutely
Is
no
it
memory.
ESL? But it's look, all parts of it are true. That's the thing.
It's true.
You know what I mean? If you're looking for
Meg and
accuracy in
I
a
am a girl.
moniker,
It's true.
yeah, you are girl. I mean, there's been a lot of things said about you, but none truer than that you are girl. Yeah.
And that my name is Meg.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so true. And
That's cute.
I was thinking about how you said, because we did a couple shows. Oh, wait, we also did that one at Parliament House.
We did the
Was
Parliament.
that first or was Dalai Lama first?
Dalai Lama was at Parliament House.
No, Dalai Lama was in the Domain and it was raining.
Oh, I'm conflating.
The other one was with
two
George Byrne
yeah,
at Parliament House for Earth
Parliament
Day.
House. Earth Day, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh, that's when we met Kevin Rudd.
Yes, we did. Who was a young whippersnapper at that point.
Who is that?
He's an ex-PM. And Prime Minister, but he's turned into a bit of an anti-Rupert Murdoch activist. That's almost his primary role now.
Yeah.
Right? In culture?
But that was his year. He was Kevin 07.
Yeah, he was Kevin 07.
He was the king of the
Kev 07. Yeah, as I called it.
And who's the one who's on the beers?
Oh, well, that was Albo, right? No, who was
I'm
on the beers?
asking you.
Who said get on the beers? No, that was Dan.
No, but
Wasn't
it
that
literally
Paul
has a
Keating?
beer company.
Oh, Bob Hawke. You're
Bob
talking
Is
Hawke,
he a
about.
PM? No.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He was. But you know what? I was just thinking about that Earth Day gig because I learned such a big lesson that day, which was that I like to be a team player. Like if I sign on for a cause, like Earth Day, I believe in this. I want to fight climate change. There should be more policy protecting the environment, all that. So I was like, I'm there. We're playing it. They gave me a T-shirt that said Earth Day on it. They were like, do you want to wear the T-shirt? And I was like, yeah, I'll wear the T-shirt. I look back at all these photos of me with you and Kevo Sev, and I am wearing this skin tight.
It was a slim cut.
Badly
I remember.
I was like, Ben, have some boundaries. For God's sake, man. You do not have to say yes to everything.
I do remember how slim that cut was.
Yeah, too slim.
It was a slim
Was
shirt.
it pre-parent, 30-year-old parenthood?
Oh, look,
Body?
make no mistake. I slayed. I
What was
slayed in it.
inside
I was
the
looking
shirt
good.
was great.
Because once we married, he did the classic gain 10 pounds, happy marriage, happy life body or something, which you slimmed down with all the exercise.
Look,
but
life became expansive in every sense.
there was a time when you were a rail.
Well, I used to go to Japan. I remember I was playing a tour in Japan, and fans sometimes would wait at the train station, and this girl came up to me and she grabbed my wrist and she looked me in the eye and she said, "You are slender like a woman." And I was like, I'm going to take it as a compliment and let's keep it moving.
You really are the king of all the lesbians.
It's true. It's true. It's funny. I only posted a little thing. She was in a Moona video years ago, before they blew up, and Kirsty Webeck wrote and said, "I'm so glad you guys found each other, the two people that invented lesbianism."
I remember there was a Melissa Etheridge video, and it was around the time that actors were just starting to do music videos like Liv Tyler did.
Crazy.
Don't want to miss the thing.
And Evan, Johnny Depp in It's a Shame About Ray.
Yeah,
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken.
Classic.
But this was before it was, I just thought, oh no, that's corny. But then I really regret it because I feel like, I don't know who did the Melissa.
It was Come to My Window.
Yes.
It was
I think I got offered that and I was like, I'm not going to be in a music
That's
video.
up there with Wicked Game in terms of
and then all of a sudden, I'm terrible. I didn't believe people would watch movies on a computer. Don't ask me what the next fad will be because I will say no one will ever do that. And then look at me now.
Look at you now.
Anyway,
so Meg,
it's all working out.
your record came out
On
last
Friday.
week on Friday.
Yay.
48 hours. 72.
Give us the elevator pitch on the record, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
I just don't want to. this is what you have to do when you're on a media
you're on a
thing.
press tour.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this a lot, but
so I'm not going to bore you with any of the same questions except this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just in brief, the dot points are, this is my 5th record. It's my first independent album of my own music. And it's a record that's about nature, all different kinds of nature. And it is has been an oasis that I've been returning to. It's been a real sanctuary for me, this inside the bubble of the songs. And now it's out.
It's out. Did you self-produce or you did it with someone?
I produced it with my friend Ben Edgar. He mixed it and he's a master musician, amazing instrumentalist. Yeah, and he's got a place in Belgrave and up in the mountains. And I just went up there whenever I could and hung out with him and his family and just chipped away at this record.
Now, why does Belgrave have the name of a Yugoslav village? Or how did it become known as Belgrave?
Do you know that I only very recently learnt the name of Belgrave because I've been calling it a different suburb for about 4 years. So I'm not the person to ask for any etymological background on the name.
There's Belgravia in England.
Okay, so it's got
in London, but I don't know.
But I do know that Belgrave is really close to Fern Gully, the real Fern Gully that they named the movie after.
Oh.
Do you know about Fern Gully? Animated
I
kids.
do.
Yeah.
And there's probably a Aboriginal name for Belgrave that's maybe something.
Fern Gully walked so that Avatar could run.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Okay,
Oh my God.
hot take. We are coming. You are coming in, swinging, taking down James Cameron.
That's not
within your first 5 minutes of
That's
being
not
on
a
this
fresh
pod.
take.
That's
That is
not.
not. Other people have said that too, but it literally is the same plot.
Right. Our friends were in a lawsuit they did a whole movie and it was totally stolen and That's interesting.
right. Yeah,
Did
that
they
is-
know that it was stolen, or was it a
Well,
subconscious?
they did a movie, and then what's his name? Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes,
Shyamalan.
thank you. Did a movie of the same exact story, and so they tried to sue, but so far it didn't work. But I feel like they're going to go do another round of suing, and then we'll.
I always have mixed feelings about
When the first round of suing doesn't
try
cut it.
again. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about suing for plagiarism and stuff like that within, not if it's a literal lift of something, but because in our jobs as songwriters, the tapestry of borrowing and referencing is like such a vital part of
Right.
the tradition
Yeah.
that, like, I always think of the, like, what was it, like Norwegian Wood referencing, I forget which Dylan song, and then Dylan doing Fourth Time Around. Like,
Right.
there was that whole thing. And I just think it's like, I actually don't want songwriters to be scared of being told they're stealing something,
Well, it's also interesting because, like, I guess as songwriters, like, you're plugging into the unconscious river and current of the collective unconscious. So, like, if you scoop out a familiar fish, like, it might be because it's buried in your unconscious, not because you're deliberately trying to plagiarize, something.
Yeah.
And melodies worm their way in and patterns form. And I saw this thing the other day that said that this melody da-na-na-na-na, is one of the, like, oldest melodies that humans can know.
It was the first time one prehistoric man teased another one. It was like that drawing he thought was not good on the cave wall.
But no, but like in every language, that is in every. That's in every.
right.
It's in every. It's on every continent. Like everyone it experiences that melody the same way. Or like when they did that experiment where they. Did you ever hear about that? Where they had a blobby shape and a spiky shape, and they asked people from like 40 different, countries and like languages, which one was a blue bull and which one was a Fritz, you know what I mean? And they all said that the blobby one was a blue bull and the spiky one was the spiky word.
Oh, this is a lesson about onomatopoeia.
Yeah, well, just like the intrinsic, what's in the words, like what's already in the collective unconscious that we all just agree on without. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. So what's
do.
in a word on this record, in this era of your life?
Yeah.
You were previously known. Well, firstly, Megan Girl.
Yeah, of
And
course.
then you
the
became-
iconic era.
And then you became Washington.
Yeah.
But you are now Meg Washington.
That's right.
What's going on? Are you confusing? Are you Will Oldham confusing your fans? Are you trying to make things difficult on Spotify for yourself? What's happening?
I'm trying to make it easier for myself. So there was a sliding doors moment in some year when I was creating my MySpace page and I called myself Washington because I thought it was cool.
Mental note, we have to come back to MySpace because I still, even though we're not doing it anymore, I want to know your strategies for how you blew up on MySpace. But let's
Okay,
keep
cool.
going. Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I didn't actually blow up on MySpace, so that'll be a good
You
conversation.
did it? Okay. I perceived you did from my perspective.
Really?
Yeah.
I definitely took my MySpace very seriously. I really agonized over that top 8. Like
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
there. It was a hierarchy.
But
know?
you were interactive with fans on your
Yes.
MySpace, which, because I'm the generation before, we were all a bit more scared of being
Yes.
interactive. So I was just interested watching you the same way now I watch like Nina Geraci doing her. It was like
Yeah.
you had a generational understanding
And
of
the
the technology.
same way, like you had a fight yesterday on.
Oh my God, I was arguing with like, saxophone players are the biggest nerds, is what I've decided. I'm never again
That's
getting
not a
involved
hot
with an
take, I
online
don't
community
think.
of saxophone
No,
players.
saxophone players were
remember-
harmed in the making of this podcast.
Yeah.
No, do you remember Rob Lowe and St. Elmo's Fire? Saxophone, you have to be so good to not be corny, like in the, the sort of Simpsons saxophone era.
Oh,
It's
like
kind of-
Lisa Simpson.
Yeah, she wasn't. She's amazing.
Okay, can I tell you something
Okay.
incredibly hot though?
Yeah.
Oh my God, calm down.
This is so confusing.
We're gonna jump around, but we're coming back. We're coming
We're
back.
coming
don't worry.
back.
When I was recording Breathing Tornadoes, it was in this man's like designer apartment designed by the architect Quincy Jones, not the music producer. There's a famous architect, Quincy Jones. And this guy was like a pretty like kinky guy that owned the apartment. It had like suede wallpaper and all of that. And he had a Penthouse magazine by the bed. And
as a side note, suede seems like a curious choice for a kinky guy.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there was no splash proofing. This guy was like, he was prepared to wear the stains as badges of honor. But when I was doing my song, The Finger in the Moon, where I was like, Ed Buller wanted me to sound more emotional and I couldn't kind of get there naturally. So I actually like almost self-asphyxiated wrapping the microphone cable around my neck and because I wanted to get this strange thing. And I was right by this Penthouse magazine. And so in between takes, I would be flicking through it.
Oh my gosh.
And there was a whole spread, a jazz-themed pictorial spread. And the one thing I remember is a woman with her legs. Is that akimbo?
Yeah.
Would you say the word akimbo for that? So she was like upside down, her legs were like that. And someone was inserting a reed into her. And the caption was, she let out a bluesy wail.
Oh my God.
And that is the secret message to how I really up-leveled on that record. So coming back to the name change. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
But everything that you've said has just opened up more questions. Like, what is the point of the reed in that situation?
Yeah, technically.
You mean musically? Sexually?
Well, I'm just saying, like, usually when something is like inserted, it's for like effect.
Yes.
But
yeah. Well, also we all know like how we all know. I play clarinet a little bit, and it's the reed.
Well, to get a tone is quite hard.
Difficult.
I thought you were going to say there's no scenario where blowing air into a vagina is a good idea, particularly.
Oh, they're blowing in, or I thought she was blowing out. Okay.
Wait, what?
Blowing in is better.
Whoa. No, the reed is the mouthpiece.
Okay,
it's not
got
the
it.
horn part.
No, I know.
No, but are you talking about the whole mouthpiece or the little wooden reed?
No, the little bit like that at the
it was
end
the
of
whole
they just
end
put
of
the
the-
end bit on, like you could blow in there.
Oh, that's nicer.
And she would let out like her mouth.
Okay, good.
In a somewhat of a
I think I just
human
saw
centipede
an
type experience.
inversion of
Her
the-
voice. She would then voice the bluesy wail, inspired by her gallant lover's breath into the reed, into her vagina.
I will be shocked if this makes it onto the internet.
I might have to Google
Which bit?
No, I might have to try to find.
Oh no, this comes out tomorrow morning. There's no editing. The whole thing goes up.
I'm going to do
unless you start getting really racist, which I know you are. With everything else,
everything's on.
Yeah, it's all going.
By the way, Meg Washington, back to your name, is one of those names that just is memorable and sounds like a famous name. You know, some people have those like strong kind of fab names like
famous
that.
vibes.
Ione Sky. I mean, it's not the same. It's difficult.
You joking?
It's a difficult name.
It's iconic.
Okay, well that's good. I wasn't fishing, but I could see Meg Washington is so memorable. It's great.
Well, when I started, I went by Washington because I thought it would be cool. I had done some stuff as a jazz singer in the jazz world, and so I kind of thought I would change my name to differentiate. And I actually thought that my solo project would be a band, so we would name it after me. But then no one else in the band did anything, so it just was my band. And then I could, but then I couldn't. You couldn't search for it, like Washington singer.
Oh.
I kept getting tagged in all these things for the White House.
God,
it was just a SEO nightmare. So then I put my first name back on again. But the problem with Megan is that it's one of those names like everybody wants to have a conversation about how to spell it, how to say it. Do you want the H? Do you want the extra A? What do you want? Like this, that.
Yeah.
And I just, it just seemed much easier because everyone says egg the same way. So Meg, it's just, you can't, there it is.
Do you like being called Meg or Megan?
I like Meg. A lot of my friends call me Washo.
Have you been getting any pushback from old school Washington fans that feel that this is like a betrayal in some sense?
No one has even mentioned it.
Okay.
But I remember actually, speaking of George Byrne, once upon a time, I stayed with George Byrne and I had to copy his house keys because he only had one set, and the front door was white and it had a white key, and the door behind it was red and it had a red key. And he sent me to when I went to the locksmith, and he said, please make sure you copy the white key with another white key and the red key with another red key. And I was like, why? And he said, because I lose 45 seconds every time I open the door. And that accumulated amount of time across a lifetime is like too gnarly.
He's like the original Huberman. This guy's like life hacking, like cutting 45 seconds off here and there. Yeah,
but I felt the same way about the name change. Like all the conversations, all the stuff.
It's wasted time.
It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You voice a character on Bluey, the biggest TV show in the history of streaming. I imagine this is how I imagine your day starts. You wake up and you decide how much money are you going to literally set on fire today. You're snorting cocaine off your husband's chest. You are I just picture the amount of money that you must have. I just can't imagine the decadence and hedonism that you're getting up to up there in Brisbane.
Wow.
Why bother making music?
I experienced that show as an ABC show. So we all just have an ABC-sized relationship to that sort of thing. But it has been very rewarding in other ways. But I think if you were the writer of that show
And it's not like other shows, if you have a character, as the show gets more and more successful, do you rewrite the contract?
You're not renegotiating that contract? Come on, man.
But it's a little different.
Let me get in there. Bring me to this conversation.
I mean, like HBO historically, I think was more like that, whereas obviously shows like Friends, they incrementally got paid more.
But
and
do you
more.
feel like because you're more of not a primary character, you didn't, how does it work?
The actual logistics of how we record the eps is we all just go individually into the booth alone and read our pages. So it's not, I think it was like Mel and Dave only met each other on Fallon or something. Like they only met in person because they were doing press for something, and they'd been mum and dad for 2 years or something, or 3 years or more. I don't know. Like it's the whole show is just the genius of Joe Brum, who really is like an auteur, really.
And good at picking, obviously, the voices, because the characters are so, I mean, the writing, of course, is amazing, but the characters, the actors
it's
are
so well
people
cast. Yeah.
Well,
love.
what's really great about, I think what's really cool about the casting is that it's just everybody's voice. Like Dave talks like that. Mel talks like that. Like I'm not doing a voice. Like how, it's just how we talk. But yeah, and it's just, it's kind of, it's just sort of a few isolated, intensive recording sessions. And then I just get to see the show like everybody else, because so much happens, I guess, unlike TV, where once you've shot it, you mostly in post, bingo, bango, moving on with life. I think animation is a whole other lasagna of tasks. Once you've got the voices, then there's like 50 million more things to do, I think, before the show can be finished. So
have you had any particularly cute interactions with kids finding out, not realizing that you were a voice? And then I see my daughter who's 16 is starstruck by you being, so I'm imagining little kids must be flipped out.
Well, the littler the kid, the less they can compute the mechanism of voice acting animation. They're just looking for the dog in the kerchief, and the voice, I guess maybe if I sang the gnome song, they would, clock it. Often sometimes parents will say, this is, but the kids just look confused.
Yeah. That's why they like to see the characters dressed up in, even though they can't talk to them. Yeah. The costume is the thing, I guess. Yeah.
But it's amazing. I just love, from the minute that I first saw the show, I was quite struck by how similar it is in a lot of ways to Seinfeld, because it's not always about anything. It's just about like a tiny moment and the beauty in the moment, or the weirdness in the moment, or the goofiness in the moment. Like, it's quite groundbreaking in that way, I think.
Yeah.
I just read the Larry Charles memoir, who, directed all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he said a really cool thing in it. He said, everyone says Seinfeld's about nothing, but I think it's about nothingness.
That's so beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. So listen, the other night we were drinking. We may have sparked up a doob. I don't know. And you said something kind of blew me away. I want to get into it a little bit if you're willing. The other night you said to me, no one is horny in Australian music. Defend yourself.
No one seems horny to me.
Do you mean in their behavior, or in the performances, or in the songwriting?
I mean that at large, I would posit that there is a distinct lack of sexual energy kind of across the board. I think that there are other kinds of energy. I think there's a lot of anger. I think there's a lot of, positivity. There's a lot of humor. But no one seems horny to me compared to, say, like European artists or American artists even.
And why? Why is that? Surely there's a theory bubbling away in there.
Yeah, well, my personal theory is that because of the monopoly which Triple J as a youth radio station sort of held for such a long time, I think there was like an unconscious kind of juvenilization of the culture, because it as a youth radio station, I think everybody sort of wanted to appear, as youthful as possible, and somehow like horniness feels mature.
Oh, interesting.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So do you think this is always in Australian music, or this is just
I'm
a more
thinking
recent
of like
phenomenon?
Olivia Newton-John and Kylie Minogue were cute, kind of cute, had a sort of cute thing.
I think Kylie has had
Horny
like
I think
most
she's
of
had
the
sex.
horn.
She's definitely had sex. I wouldn't put it past her. Yeah.
She's got a bit of horn about her, I would say.
We were listening to a band, and I was trying to think if they were horny, but it was more that the kind of like the Cure, Longing, that band.
Radio Free Alice.
Radio Free Alice had a yearning, but it wasn't necessarily horny. It was more of just like a love, not emo, but more of that longing. But yeah.
So is it like not culturally acceptable, do you think, to display real sexuality?
I think that it's so complex just to exist as an artist in this landscape. Not even bringing the female element into it, just as an artist at all, that I think I got really into this book by an amazing writer called Adrienne Marie Brown. It's called Pleasure Activism. And she talks about how pleasure is like a measure of freedom, and how you're not really free unless you're enjoying yourself. And I just feel like in general, right, like this is not so much about the Australian arts in particular, but just sort of in general as we move towards the capitalistic rhythm that we're moving into, like there is like a lazy, playful, curious vibe that to me is sort of where horniness is born, but also where the artistic impulse is born, right? Like you kind of can't pick up the guitar on a whim and play something if you're like stressed and rushing. You know what I mean? Or like, so, and just in general, like I feel like leisure time and sort of simultaneously pleasure time is kind of getting overridden with like hustle culture.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah.
And there's like, everything's productivity, everything's the side hustle, like life hacking, all that stuff. And there used to be just time to be bored and horny.
There used to be that 45 seconds at the door with the key. And you could be so horny just like for 45 seconds.
Then you've
and then
ruined
you're
it.
fucking George Byrne just erasing it from our day.
Oh my God. The aesthetic or whatever the word is, aesthetic, yeah, of that red and white, because he's he's a photographer. I'm just also impressed with that white door, red door thing.
He is one of the most efficient thinkers
I didn't
I've
know
ever
that
met.
because he comes across kind of chill or something, but I guess he's
got rules.
He's got rules.
very
Okay.
strict rules.
I don't know
Yeah,
him very well, but that's nice. Yeah.
So wait, coming back to what you were talking about being a female artist in Australian music culture.
Yeah.
We were chatting about the ARIA Awards and about the collapsing of the best female and best male into just, what is it, best artist?
Best artist, yeah.
And how do you see that working?
Well, in the 4 years since it's been changed from best male and best female into just best artist, it's been won by a dude 4 times. And that just doesn't seem like progress to me. Because that just means that there's 4 female artists who've missed out on that would have been able to be recognised, who didn't happen.
Isn't that weird? Because I get the principle of it. Because in a way,
sure.
then you don't want to have everything be divisive by gender.
Sure,
and what about non-binary people
Sure.
and all this? But then in the end, it ends up erasing female artists. It's like,
That's weird.
I mean, maybe there's the third solution. Maybe there's, I don't know, like it just doesn't seem, to me, that didn't seem like a step forward at all. And I think that the ARIAs are a really important symbol actually to the musical community of like what's being recognised and what's being celebrated. And it is our national awards, like it is. And that I think that they should fix it.
All right. So what does that look like?
I mean, thinking about it at first, like realizing, do you think they've realized that happened, or?
I don't know. Am I the only person who noticed it?
Well, I mean, because you can't say, oh, you have to swap every year if a woman's not nominated, say, for 3 years in a row. You have to pick a woman. Like
No, but the bigger issue is...
You can't make that happen, but...
No, it's an institutional problem with how many female artists are getting radio play, how many... it's the same with the Triple J Hottest 100 conversation about are there enough Australian artists? Well, obviously no, but that's reflective of the amount of Australian artists that radio is getting behind anyway.
That's right. And the last time we talked about this, I kept coming back to this idea of a radio quota because... Like I know, for example, in France, they're very very intense about the radio quota because they know that if you don't play French artists to French people, they'll listen to other artists and the culture will suffer. But here we do have radio quotas, and the networks have to play like a certain amount of Australian artists, but they do it at nighttime.
Yeah.
And also, like we are sort of an undermarket, right? Like Australia is an undermarket that just receives the global priorities of the major labels, and they all have the new whoever record that's coming out that needs to be number 1 this week. And I don't know, I feel like it's just time for a big old shake-up.
What do you think about my idea that Triple J should just play Australian music?
I loved that idea. I also had the idea that they should invert Double J and Triple J. So put Triple J on the radio put Double J on the radio and let
Triple J on digital.
Triple J be a digital station for all the young people on the internet and let Double J be a radio station because they mostly play Australian acts.
Yeah, and they could do a mix. It can
They're
do a
very
spread
supportive.
of,
It's, it's sort of pretty cool. Like culturally they play a lot of great stuff and they support, Australian music.
Have they started playing this record?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are there must have been stations like early K-Rock when in LA, that was really fun. Like they played
You mean local music?
Yeah, it was sort of like local music.
Well, and like Rodney Bingenheimer, Rodney on the Rock was like discovering bands in LA and playing them.
Yeah.
I mean, you need that. I also think like a culture of DJs actually being empowered to play music they like.
Cool.
Is like, that is the fundamentals.
Would you want to
like,
do that?
I don't know if
Do
I
you mean
personally,
like the individual taste of the radio DJ having a flavor?
I think they should have a voice. I don't
Yeah.
think say commercial radio, fucking whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
And people say, oh, you're talking about Triple J too much, but Triple J is still a very powerful platform, and it's the one we've got.
Yeah.
And I think for the moment, it's people do listen to the radio, it has influence. But I think DJs that have skin in the game and have the freedom to platform artists that they care about within parameters. Like, hey, you get to pick 3 Australian singles this week in your sessions and play them that you want to get behind.
But
personally.
I think that's what feels expensive now. What feels expensive to me now, like interesting, like attractive, is the authentic variability of a human curated thing.
Yeah.
Like an algorithm will pick 3 songs and they'll be very similar in these very sort of noticeable ways. They'll be in a similar genre or similar artist, whatever. But a human has got a whole chaotic other reason for, you know what I mean? And I think that like that's what feels like someone's in the room with you, like your big brother showing you cool music. Like that's the best version of that relationship.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I do want to take your temperature on a subject that the internet has gone wild about this week, which is a historical reappraisal of the stomp, clap, hey folk music phenomena of 2009. So someone on Twitter commented that the song Home by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros is the worst song of all time, not just for the song itself, but because of what it spawned. The Lumineers, Mumford and Sons. There's another one with monsters in the title. I don't
Monsters
remember.
and Men.
Monsters and Men. What do you think? What is this? What do you have any memories of this era? 2009 stomp clap indie.
Didn't you invent the stomp clap?
Okay, hang on.
Why are you putting this on me? Isn't this your whole legacy?
Catch My Disease. I'll tell you a couple of things that both separates me from this, but yeah. Catch My Disease was recorded in 2003.
Okay.
And it's not Americana.
It just happens to literally have stomps and claps.
But that was based more on Gary Newman
but
and
so
like
does
arena
Queen,
rock.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
So does We Will Rock
sounds
You.
kind of
right.
it's more like it's more sharp.
But people have such a excuse the pun, Edward Sharpe. Yeah. Anyway, but that does. But there's something that people are particularly offended by in the sort of twee Americana of it. And
Like the men around it, the look of the men around
it's the Coachella hats and the suspenders and the sort of like the cute washing of Civil War culture.
Right. Yeah. I get like a
It's
musty,
a civil-
dusty train driver.
Yes, exactly.
But they're not, they haven't really lived that way. They're just dressing. The cultural appropriation of a true
Train driver.
traveler or truck driver.
But I do like the song Home, and this is my defense
So
of the
do
song
I.
Home. I believe Home, if you look at it in terms of like this it's an outlier because it's actually a novelty hit.
Right.
The band had one hit. It's one song that in a way defies genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Weird Al song or something. You know what I mean? It's like a novelty gimmick kind of song. But those other bands like Mumford and Sons and Lumineers went on to turn that into a whole career. So I think Home sits a bit outside that actually.
But don't you think there was a whole movement around that time of like big space in the music and a lot of hey ho, whoa, whoa.
Yes.
Like even hits like I would say Geronimo by the Aussie band Shepherd, like that's not a stomp clap song, but it's got the same kind of chanty anthem feeling. Like I think it was just it bled into what were you saying a couple of months ago about the about like Jack Johnson?
Ben Harper.
Ben Harper.
Yeah.
Like I think that sometimes acts just bleed something into the water and everyone sort of, it just gets into everyone's like system and it just becomes part of the zeitgeist. Like, did I do a stomp clap around that time?
Have you ever said hey in a song?
I may have said hey, but I have never followed it with a ho. I keep the hays and the hoes very separate.
Keep your hays and hoes separate. That's right. These are wise words. See, people tune into this podcast for that type of life wisdom, you know. You keep your hays and hoes separate, beautiful babies.
You keep your powder dry and your haze as far away from your hose as you possibly can.
There you go. How is all this regional touring going that you're doing? I mean, I love this stuff. So, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Are you digging it?
It's been amazing actually, like, because I didn't play shows for about 7 years because I had my son in 2018 and then.
And because you're so rich.
And
because
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
burning cash in. Oh, yeah, I'm very busy burning.
Oh,
money.
and just for the
you
sake
did
of
a little show called
a movie, how to
Yes.
a little show, Bluey, but also
No,
for
and a
people that
little
don't know,
movie,
How
yeah.
to Make Gravy. Meg wrote it, acted in it, and did all the music, and her husband directed it. A great
that's
film.
right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was time consuming, I would think.
It was a big old lasagna of stuff to do. So, and I just, I was writing this music the whole time, but I wasn't able to tour at all. And so, yeah, when the film came out in December, I sort of decided to go back on the road, and it's been sort of amazing because I'm doing some kind of touring that I've actually never done. Like I did regional touring at the beginning of my career, but always as a support act. So, and it's a different kind of thing. It's not your crowd, so you just don't connect with the audience as much. But going around as I have been and playing, sometimes it's a big juicy theatre, sometimes it's a little pub, sometimes it's this and sometimes it's that. Like, yeah, it's been really, it's been amazing to just reconnect with the audience and remember what it's like. I feel like I'm doing something sort of ancient, like dragging my guitar from town to town. It's like something that people like me have done for thousands of years. Like, it just seems really good.
You're a troubadour, and it's an honest paycheck.
You can't, you go to bed and you're like, nothing, there's no hangover. The show's over. What's done is done. There's a new one tomorrow. You can't focus too much on learnings that you would change because you just got to change them tomorrow. Like, yeah, it's a very, it's been really good. It's been very cool. I'm enjoying it.
Did that tour that Dylan did with the makeup on his face and the hat,
Rolling Thunder.
That was sort of his idea to make it like that kind of thing. So he purposefully did that kind of touring, but he, was choosing to sort of do that kind of touring in that way.
When you say that type of touring, you mean non-unconventional
Regional
venues.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they're very hit or miss sometimes,
and
but
it's
they're
just
also.
that. I think that for
Dylan,
Dylan,
you've just done a year of that, and
Yeah.
it's been kind of amazing.
But I think for Dylan and his mythology, and it's so tied into like Jack Kerouac and the idea of like the little places that you might miss in a big country where the heart of the country is. And I feel similarly in Australia.
I was just about to say, I think you couldn't have said it more clearly because, I think there is a bias sometimes that people kind of imagine that if you can play big shows, you must only play big shows. But there's some different really valuable thing about like doing 100 capacity shows than doing 2 Enmores and, because I think for the people too, like for the audience members, if you come to someone's town and you're there, like you're bringing it to them, they don't have to drive to Sydney or Melbourne. Like it's right there up the road. It's easy for them to get to. The art is accessible. The artist is accessible. Their mates heckling and the art, like there's an aliveness to that musical experience.
You might say the haze and the hose are brought closer together.
But I think the musicians, like even Prince would do the after show that was small.
Yeah.
Or certain people I feel like would do these, like you'd find out, oh, so-and-so's doing a small, I never got to go, but Paul McCartney is playing, a small room and whatever. And I think
saw Robbie
because
Williams
they
do that.
want to. Oh yeah.
He played in Sydney, in Melbourne. He played a big gig, and then afterwards, it started at like midnight. Him and his band, actually, and his dad, they did a gig at the Nightcap.
You lost me at the dad. What was the dad doing then?
Robbie Williams' dad is a singer.
Oh, okay.
Like a crooner.
Enough said. Give him a platform.
A crooner, a beautiful crooner.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
so a lot of that sort of
beautiful crooner.
old showbiz
that comes
thing
from him.
comes from his dad, and they did a song together. It was amazing.
Oh,
That's good.
Oh, you know what I wanted to say back to the stomp, clap, hey thing was in some ways my reaction to that discourse, to being left out of it and erased from it, it revealed to me how much I enjoy negative feedback, that I felt upset about being erased from a negative discourse about music. I was like, wait, I'm the enemy too, include me.
The real Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, that's way your press. Don't read it. Anything else you wanted to add before we wrap up? Anything you want? But where should people find you, and what do you want? What do you want from them?
What do you mean?
I don't know. What do you want them to stream the record? You want them to buy tickets to something?
Who's them?
Plug
Who's
some
them?
stuff. The
beautiful
listening.
babies.
Yeah,
She's got merch. She's got records. She's got tours. She's got social media. It's all there.
Love it.
It's all there. But I did want to tell you guys one story that I thought of that was pretty amazing and pretty inspiring, actually. So this is a story about how I know what a hard worker Charlie XCX is.
Okay.
Because once upon a time, I was doing a songwriting session in LA with my friend Max Hirschnau, who was in a band called Ms. Mister. And he was Charlie's housemate at the time and was living in her house. And he had a studio in the house. And so I was in the studio in her house and I was just tinkering around, looking at the objet, like whatever. And there was a like notebook that I just opened and it was full of all these illustrations. And I said to him, "What is this?" And he said, "Oh, that's Charlie's designs for the Fancy video, the big one with Iggy Azalea." And when I looked through the whole book, she had designed all of those Clueless outfits drawn by hand in like textile. I took photos of it all because it was so incredible. And by then she was a massive artist and even when they did Fancy, she was already a massive artist. And I was so inspired by the like grassroots Vibe.
She got her hands dirty.
She drew the costumes.
She wasn't just having a meeting with people who are coming
Hiring creative
in with their
directors.
design and she's like, "Oh yeah, I like this guy great."
Like the creative
Amazing.
direction and the art and the heart was all hers. And that
God.
like video was so iconic.
Yeah,
That's
amazing.
incredible.
We have a similar story we've talked about before, just being at the video shoot that Nash directed for Bob Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
And standing behind, he was 80 and we're standing, it was like 11:30 p.m. and he's learning dance steps and just being like,
But in
this
like
is show business.
yeah,
These people get it.
like a dilapidated house in South Central LA in a dodgy neighborhood, the set at night, like those sets that are like dusty and not comfortable. And he was totally just like doing it. And not with a posse, not with like a whole crew of people surrounding him.
And protectors and shields.
So to sum up, what have we learned this episode? We've said Charlie XCX and Bob Dylan, great work ethics. Get
Huge.
behind them, stamp of approval. Take that 45 seconds at the door, rub one out, be extremely horny. That's time you'll never get back. If just because you voiced a character on Bluey doesn't mean you're a billionaire.
Sadly.
We love nature.
We do.
And we are the jury's still out on stomp hey ho music. We're not coming down hard on either side.
It's not villainous at all. It's pretty benign.
True. Beautiful babies, thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for talking to us, Meg Washington.
Listen to Meg's new record.
Meg Washington.
Watch How to Make Gravy. Watch Bluey. Go to her shows.
Get the album.
Yeah, support this wonderful human being. See you guys.
Together we're weirder together.